Hello guys, I remember one comment that is often repeated: wait and see, Russia will destroy itself. And it seems like this process has started and is in a very active phase. Because if you look at what Russian army does in Sudzha, bombing their own city, applying the well-known Russian tactics of the scorched earth policy, this looks insane, but this also explains everything about the Russian attitude to people's life and even their own territories. Today, a huge fire is in Moscow. No, these are not Ukrainian drones, this is Russian negligence and extreme vulnerability. This big bully that for decades built an image of an invincible, strong country in reality is a rotting, rusty, dying empire. Be it the Soviet Union, be it the Russian Federation or the Russian Empire, the real essence is the same. It's extremely poor, filled with hatred, very unprofessional, negligent, unprotected, and vulnerable. And I'm sure we will demonstrate you more of that in the months to come. Subscribe if you're new to see that on the channel. My name is Anna and I'm from Ukraine, and unfortunately, I know a lot about Russia and the way it will be defeated. So on the news today, Moscow is on fire. One of the administrative buildings close to the river is on fire. 45 firefighting cars, 4 helicopters, 1 ship, and all of that cannot stop the fire. Because Russians do not know how to react to serious problems. They know how to cause problems in other parts of the world, on their borders. They hate successful democracies nearby, but they do not know how to fight problems inside their society. Actually, this is not me being sarcastic, also true, but this is the important thing to understand about Russia whenever you consider negotiations or trying to find something more behind traditional Russian hatred and violence. And huge smoke all over the Russian capital. Just last week, Ukrainian drones were visiting it. During this war, Ukrainian drones were even visiting the Kremlin. This is insane. Imagine something similar happening, let's say, in Washington, London, or Paris. Guys, and this is Russia. Russia is totally unprotected. It is only prepared to attack others, but not to protect itself. Moreover, the way they treat their own streets, their own cities, and their own people demonstrate a lot about this extremely depressing worldview. They do not see any happiness in the end of the tunnel. And this is how they act when they have problems, like in Kursk region. Ukrainian special military operation to the Kursk region continues. We control more than 100 of Russian settlements, something that seemed totally impossible at the very beginning. Why was it so easy for Ukrainian army to break Russian borders? Because they are vulnerable, unprepared, and all they can do create this fake image of a bully. So after crossing the border, Ukrainian army behaves according to the rules of war. And even witnessing all of Russian war crimes in Ukraine, soldiers are terrified at how Russia treats their own people. There are reports about constant bombings of Sudzha. Russia does that to their own towns, villages, knowing there are still civilians on their territories. This is insane. This once again proves there is nothing valuable, nothing holy for Russia. Subscribe to see them defeated. And please share the videos that you like and consider important. All these days, when they cannot make Ukrainian army leave the territory, they shell it with missiles and cabs, knowing there are still Russian civilians in the cities. For example, the well-known town of Sudzha, that is right now under the control of the Ukrainian army, and that is very important from the tactical point of view, and has the gas station, measuring station in there. It is constantly shelled by Russians. It was inhabited by 5,000 people. The majority of them were evacuated, and approximately 500 left. And these 500 survive only because of kindness and adequacy of the Ukrainian armed forces, who care how to provide them with water, how to protect them from Russian shellings, and Russians do not care. That's why actually many people who are now evacuated from the Russian regions that have become a war zone. Let's be honest, Russia wanted war, Russia got war, war always returns back home, and now, I have counted, approximately 7 Russian regions are already a war zone. Kursk, Belgorod, Bryansk, Voronezh, Volgograd, Rostov, Krasnodar. This is insane. And people, right now Russia has a couple of 100,000 internal refugees already. This is very difficult for any country, and these people know it's very likely they won't have an opportunity to return back. Ukrainian refugees dream about this possibility in future, and Russians know Russia itself will destroy their homes, their kindergartens, their lives. Many of them remain very isolated and are not allowed to travel freely across Russia. Imagine, Ukrainian people from war-torn regions are always welcomed in Ukraine, in every part of Ukraine, and we are trying to do everything we can to make them feel better. And in Russia, Putin tries to isolate them from the rest of the regions for them not to spread information about the lost war on the Russian side. This is insane, but this also demonstrates that Russia is not about, if you look back in time, and even all those military victories in different wars that Russia ascribed to itself, they were actually great human tragedies because they were achieved by immense human sacrifices, totally unnecessary for a particular victory, because that very same victory could have been achieved with less human blood. That's what they do in Ukraine. For example, our Kursk operation and the size of the territory that we managed to get to create a buffer zone and to protect Ukrainian territory within 2 weeks is larger than Russia did since the start of this year. But they have killed dozens of thousands of their own soldiers, and they don't care about that at all. This is insane. And this is another proof that no negotiations with Russia are possible. Even if we forget about them breaking rules, disrespecting agreements, we have to realize this is a totally different kind of philosophy and psychology, because they don't care. They don't care about their own lives. They don't care about their own children. They don't care about their own territories. They don't care about anything. And that's why the only way we can stop this war is to defeat them. They only understand the language of force. And after that, decades of very hard work. Because once again, democracy cannot be born in Russia if they have never seen what that is. Those who still hope something will happen, Russian civil society will start working, they don't have civil society, they don't know what is it. It's just like waiting for your child to start reading books without teaching the child, because it's a natural process. No, it's not. All of the important things, they have to be taught, and at this moment, Russia's society is very, very, very lost. I'm sure you see lots of proofs of that. Even the way they treat their own refugees. Let me know in the comments below, would you like a video on that? Because in Ukraine, we did not have a choice. We have internal refugees. We care about these people. There are huge numbers of them. And the attitude is totally different. But right now, Russians also have thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of refugees, and they will have more. And the way they treat them and what problems they cause to Putin and his image of a successful fighter is actually very, very problematic for their propagandists. And we can discuss that on the channel too. So I'm always happy to read your comments and learn more of the things you would like to discover about my very problematic but very beautiful part of the world. I'm still on my business trip and visited some beautiful Roman buildings, and oh my god, it's so beautiful. I love this era. I will share later after I come back and we organize a live stream, because I've missed you a lot. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel, and helping me work, film more. I'm very grateful to have you in my life, and I'm very grateful for your friendship and support. Be careful of scammers and bots attacks. Our channel, our community is strong. We have succeeded with our NEFO campaign, and I'm sure there are more good things that we can do together. And that's why they attack us. But come on, if people are not afraid of Russian soldiers on the Ukrainian streets, we are not afraid of that too in the internet. And I'm very grateful to have you in my life. Subscribe to my Instagram, X, Threads, and Discord. All the links that you need are in the description of this video, and also a link to our merch shop that has lots of beautiful items that work well as reminders and conversation starters about Ukraine. And we need these conversations to remind people that democracy, unfortunately, is not for free, and right now it needs our protection, and not only in Ukraine. Thank you so much for your support and understanding. Slava Ukraini!